big toys with the big noise.
Ram Motorsports Spectacular is revved up and ready.
Are you ready?
Then make some noise!
Are you ready for Ram Motorsports Spectacular? You know, I probably didn't do a very good job of that, did I? Because we really do want to know if you are ready. So let me ask you, like one of those monster truck guys, and see how you respond. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the stars of Ram Motorsports Spectacular want to know, are you ready? Now that's what I'm talking about. It sounds to me like you are ready to meet the stars of Ram Motorsports Spectacular! He comes to us from Phoenix, Arizona. The man with the red mohawk. He is ready to rock and roll for you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Joe Griggs. And elbows up. Our next driver comes to us from Groom Lake, Nevada. By the way, that happens to be the home of Area 51. Driving the 3D Dragon. Put your hands together now, loud, for Mr. Dallas Rogers and Spitfire! From Kelowna, British Columbia, a 5-time former Canadian monster truck champion, had to retire in the year 2000 due to injury, but the latest equipment has brought him back. Mr. Marvin Anderson and Identity Theft! The unmistakable custom air horn of this truck lets you know he's come along with more. He starts that engine. A former motocross superstar, still riding today and doing double duty for us as the driver of our white truck Sapphire. But right now, he's up in this fabulous truck. Gavin Sell and Nick Stuff. The story, a farm kid from Weyburn, Saskatchewan, who made his fortune in the oil fields and started to spend it on a monster truck team. This is the prototype. This is the original truck of the Crew Boys team, Jared Vogel and Crew! Unbelievable yesterday, defeating a former world champion to win freestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, he is our freestyle champion, Jason Court and Roughneck. To introduce a fan at heart, a fabricator by trade, a creative mechanical genius when it comes to straight-up races. Coming to us out of Washington, he's the wild man from that state. He is the former champion of the world, Payne and Rockstar! The super modified mini monster. Boomer, Sackman, Infinity 2.0, and a 3-year stock car veteran racer in Thumper. Please welcome Dakota Boomer Sackman, Delaney Mama D Sackman, our mini monster drivers. Now you can say it. 10, 9, let me hear you. 7. Start your engine!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show number 2 here in Winnipeg at the Canada Life Center for the Ram Motorsports Spectacular, brought to you by the Outlaws of Motorsports. We are going to kick things off just like how we kicked off show number 1 with the best trick competition, where our drivers are going to have 2 attempts to lay down their best trick in their monster trucks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get loud because our first truck's on the track, and it's Joe Briggs in Elbows Up. Nice way to start the competition off from Joe Briggs in Elbows Up. But coming up next, you saw him yesterday in the most iconic straight-up racing monster truck in recent years. He is a mechanic, he is a host, and now, this weekend, he's back behind the wheel of the fire-breathing 3D lava monster all the way from Arizona. I want you to get loud, get excited, because it's time for Dallas Glenn Rogers and Spitfire. Flying that dragon high was Dallas Glenn Rogers and Spitfire. Great job right there. But now it is time for a legend, a Canadian monster truck legend, 5-time former Canadian monster truck champion. And for the 4th straight year, he is back in Winnipeg. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get loud because it's time for Marvin Anderson in Identity Theft. Time to continue on now with our Monster Truck Best Trick competition with a very talented rising star of the sport. He is debuting a brand new truck in Winnipeg, only the 2nd time the city of Winnipeg and the province of Manitoba have seen this monster truck. He's a rising star, like I said, and one driver you have to keep your eye on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get loud for Gavin Sell in Mixed Up. Continuing on with our best trick competition, you just saw Gavin Sell flying across the crush cars. Well, now it is time to get excited for Canada's own. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been driving for over a decade, nearly a decade, I should say, and he's back in Winnipeg yet again. We love having the Crude Boys join us, but now it's only the one part of the team, I should say. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get loud because it's time for Jared Vogel and Crude. Trucks remain in our Monster Truck Best Trick competition, and coming up next is the other part of the Crude Boys team. This guy, though, is from Edson, Alberta, Canada, and he's our defending freestyle winner from last night's show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get loud because it's time for Jason Court in Roughneck. And our final competitor on the night in our Monster Truck Best Trick competition, he is the legend of them all, one of the greatest monster truck drivers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, he took home the Best Trick competition last night. Can he go 2 for 2 here in Winnipeg? I want you to get it loud for the greatest, one of the greatest monster truck drivers of all time. It's Bill Payne and Rockstar.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw some pretty cool skills.
as we let our monster trucks cool off from our racing competition, it is now time to bring back out the mini monsters. You saw Dakota Boomer Sackman compete in our mini monsters best trick competition. He had some cool moves in that, but now it's time to let them race against each other, and he's going to race against his mom, Delane Sackman, in Thumper. How this is going to work is they're going to come out, they're going to do side-by-side monster truck racing. Then, once the first race is done, we're going to do a second race. They're going to swap lanes, though, and that'll determine the winner. This is a very exciting thing, so I want you to get loud, get excited, because it's time to welcome Dakota Boomer Sackman in Bunny 2.0 and Delane Sackman in Thumper.
Bunny 2.0 on the outside. Watch for the light to go green. Or certainly a deduction in points. Noise! So even Steven from a penalty standpoint.
It is now time for what a lot of people come to Ram Motorsports Spectacular to see. Of course, we got the monster trucks and the minis, but one of the highlights for a lot of the Ram Motorsports Spectacular fans is freestyle motocross, and it is that time right now. These guys are going to risk their lives, put their lives on the line. They're going to take their dirt bikes and fly through the skies, fly 30 feet in the air. I think it's going to just be insane to see what these guys come up with here in Winnipeg. You saw some clips last night from the incredible action of the freestyle motocross riders. Well, now they're back today, and they're going to show you why they are the best FMX riders in the world. So, without further ado, get loud, clap your hands, stomp your feet, because it is now time for freestyle motocross.
1,700 pounds of solid steel, covered with expanded metal to grab the knobby tires of a good bike and do that. Send that motorcycle across a gap of 75 feet to that custom-built airbag landing. You know, to be honest, he rides through the sky. Rider in freestyle motocross. But the thing he's most proud of is he comes from right here in Canada. Darren Wright! Pulling out exactly the kind of trick have fun in here. I know he is still the original outlaw of freestyle motocross. That's why we call him Billy the Kid Cohut. And then he is one of the masters of execution. When he commits to a trick, it's 100%. Because right around the world does. The box hanger, here we go. Oh, an eagle style! Eagle style! It's enough to go up there and put your feet in there looking like this. He stood up like that, put those hands up tall, a man who is truly inspired by the eagle. Darren Wright and the box hanger. Man, oh, there, I swear, before he reaches out and grabs that bike, I don't need to say it, but hey, watch this. Holy grab from Billy the Kid Cohut. Oh, man. Now again, I'm going to pack him back over here because Brody, of course, is going, you know. But I got to love that. That was huge. You know what, the airbag? Because he's going to do this upside down, which means he's got to be straightened out by the time he lands it. Here we go. Yes, sirree. Brody Wilson and a knack back flip. Got to love that one. Oh, man. He had me worried there. You still had that bike stretched out there because you were coming down. Here comes Derek. Oh, man, I look over. You see him look right over. It's called a freestyle train. All of the riders on the rear at the same time. Now, they typically do. Now it's the team up to the riders of what they're going to do. Eagle style. Both of them doing holy grabs. Wow, that was huge. Sports Spectacular and the Outlaws of Motorsports. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please get on your mark.
Well, after that jaw-dropping freestyle motocross action from our FMX riders, it is now time to get back into some monster truck action. This being the final time you will see the mini monsters this weekend, it is time for the mini monsters freestyle competition with Delane Sackman in Thumper and Boomer Dakota Sackman in Bunny 2.0. So get loud, get excited, because it's time for mini monsters freestyle.
They can give us their freestyle. Here comes Thumper. You see the obstacles here that are set up for our mini monsters. Particularly these monsters and stack sides. Around here to be, wait a minute, back to the now. Up here like we're racing to the river. Again, you see all the skills, both from racing and from the skills competition. Delane using a variable time clock, at least under a variable time clock. That means that the only people who know how long he has to have on the track are the track officials. That is the same thing with the monster truck. Up there on that 1 foot like that. Getting that spinner there, not having to walk her in there to lock it in. Ruber decided I might have been a fly on there, I better stand down. Coming in here hard, up almost on the 2 wheels. That would look more like yellow than blue. Across here now. That's a good air right there. Not like a skyway on that one. Lots of aggression, I gotta like that. Judges from a freestyle standpoint will look at that, including a, wait a minute now, hold on! Hold on! Oh, look at this! Here we go! You dare and Boomer put on a first-class freestyle. Gotta love this kid. He has been a sensation all across the country. In these super modified. Up there on the two wheels for you in a bicycle. Giving us a little wave here right now. Please give it
Well, Outlaws or Motorsports fans, this is it. This is the final competition and the final time you will see the monster trucks perform here in Winnipeg. It is now time for the final competition of the weekend, Monster Truck Freestyle. And that only means one thing, pure chaos. So we're going to kick things off just like yesterday with Joe Briggs in Elbows Up. It is now time for one of the most fan-favorite drivers in the fan-favorite truck. He's all the way from Groom Lake, Nevada, but he's here in the cold Winnipeg, Manitoba to have fun with all of you driving the 3D Dragon Lava Monster. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get loud, get excited, wave the flags, throw those t-shirts up in the air because it's time for Dallas Glenn Rogers and Spitfire. Continuing on in our freestyle competition, this driver is one that you always have to keep your eyes on when he hits the track, because you never know what he's going to do, whether it's best trick, racing, or freestyle. He's always a driver you have to keep your eyes on. Ladies and gentlemen, for one final time here this weekend in Winnipeg, get loud and excited because it's time for Gavin Sell in Mixed Up. We have a few trucks left in Monster Truck Freestyle, and we're going to continue things now with the farm boy, the farm kid from Weyburn, Saskatchewan, the other half of the Crude Boys, and we're excited to have him here in Winnipeg yet again. He missed out on freestyle last night, but that just means he's going to go 10 times harder today. Give it up for Jared Vogel and Crude. We only have 2 monster trucks left in this competition here in Monster Truck Freestyle. And we're going to continue now with the defending freestyle champion from last night here in Winnipeg. Can he come up with the same thing or something even crazier? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get loud, get excited for Jason Court in Roughneck. Well, Monster Truck fans, I have some unfortunate news for you. Our good buddy Marvin Anderson in identity theft is unable to compete here today in Monster Truck Freestyle, but that's okay because here to save the day for our 6-truck freestyle competition and to end Winnipeg off with a bang is the legendary, one of the greatest monster truck drivers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet, scream, stomp the feet, clap your hands for Bill Payne and Rockstar.